Hi, I'm Tony Nichols, and welcome to Chamber Chat. Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat, a program put together by the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce for the sole purpose of keeping you informed on what's going on at your chamber. Joining us now is Alaina van Gelder, the Community Business Development Manager at Barnes & Noble. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, right out of the gate, tell us what the Community Business Development Manager does.
The role of Community Business Development Manager is really to not only grow our business here in Salisbury and all over Delmarva, but to become more involved with the community.
Very good. Barnes & Noble is obviously a national and probably global company. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the goals that Barnes & Noble may have for local communities like Salisbury?
For me, as the CBDM here in our Salisbury store, I want to be more than the big box bookstore at the end of 13, right, if you will.
Sure.
So our main goal and my main goal in this role is to reach out to our community partners, our local businesses, and see how we can form a partnership.
That sounds like, you know, I heard your personal goals in this venture. Do you get to have the freedom to plug into the community in the best way you see fit, which also what I would assume would tie into what the corporate structure would be, but do you have some say in that? And how
I do. I'm
Very
sorry.
good.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Barnes & Noble is a great company to work for because they do give me that freedom to make this store fit what the local community needs in so many ways.
Any successful business finds a way to plug into needs that they see in the community, a gap in the community. And it sounds like that's kind of a model that you're trying to employ here, so it will work. You mentioned plugging into the business community in Salisbury. You know, many people may not think of Barnes & Noble as the business support outreach. How are you going to plug into, or how can you plug into the business community?
We offer so much for our corporate partners in the community. We offer discounts on bulk gift card purchases, and when I say bulk gift cards, it's not millions of dollars, but if you need to get client gifts, or if you need to get thank yous or employee appreciation, we offer discounts on gift cards.
Gotcha.
We also offer a corporate account that is free to open. It is not a credit card, but it's free to open and offers businesses, if they're doing a training, let's say, they can purchase those books at a discount.
Okay.
So it's a great resource.
Is that for all size businesses, or
any size business?
Gotcha.
Any
so whether
size
it's
business.
2 or 300
Absolutely.
people that you would be supporting there.
Absolutely. That is, the size of the business is irrelevant. If they are a business, we want to help them.
Very good.
Yeah.
What other ways do you see making an impact? I know I've seen you in the community at other meetings before, so I know you're getting out there.
Yeah.
So what other ways do you see Barnes & Noble here locally supporting Salisbury?
Well, we do, you know, like you said, you've seen me out in the community. We do a lot with our educational institutions. And I had a brilliant idea in my mind that I wanted to bring together our educational business and our educational institutions, our business community, and Barnes & Noble kind of be the link between the two.
Sure.
And it's called Together We Read is the name of the program. And it's going well, but it's in its infancy stage right now. So
okay, now you've piqued my interest here.
Yeah.
Tell us, you've got to give me a little more for the viewers on Together We Read.
Absolutely. It is a program that I started here in Salisbury.
You started this program.
I started
Not
this
a big
program.
corporate fancy schmancy spill. This is you starting this program.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. I just saw, like I said a minute ago, I just saw a need to bring everyone together, if you will. And reading is so crucial to our young people in our community. And right now, there is little to no forum for students that love to read. You know, we offer things for our sports people and we offer things for our students that love music, but yet readers have nowhere to go.
Sure.
You read a great book and you want to talk to someone about it. And
Where do you go?
Where do you go?
Right.
Hopefully your best friend read the book, but then it's like, what about another perspective? So what I thought is, let's start essentially a book club.
I was thinking book club on steroids.
Book club on steroids, I like that.
Yeah.
But essentially a book club that happens at the school, whether it be during the school day or after the school hours. You know, it's a place for students to go read the same book every month and come together and really talk about it with a faculty advisor, of course.
Have a common connection with those around them.
Absolutely.
Because so many times when people are pigeonholed into a stereotype because you're not you're viewed as different than someone else because you like a particular activity.
Absolutely.
Many times people will turn inward and be more reserved. Sounds like you're going to create an opportunity for them to express themselves in a way that it sounds like it doesn't exist right now.
No, it doesn't. And we are focusing on the middle and high schools in Wicomico County. And I have been out to the schools talking with students about gaining kind of their level of interest.
Right.
And it's unreal. It's more than I could have ever imagined. These
Well,
kids are so excited.
You're very ambitious to start with middle and high schoolers.
Yeah.
So bless you for that. But that is absolutely a crucial age in terms of finding out who you really are, finding out how to deal with adversity. All the things that everyone knows that you deal with
Right.
During those transitional periods in
Yes.
life. So what better time to plug in to do that? Any other areas where you guys are plugging into the community here in Salisbury?
Well, I was going to say one thing I failed to mention about the Together We Read program is incorporating our business community. So they're involved as well.
Okay.
And the way that I want to do that does incorporate the community, our business community.
Sure.
I want to find businesses that will sponsor and participate in this Together We Read program, whether they read the book along with the students, but a way to kind of reward these students and give them a free book for coming to the club, or students that can't afford it. May have some difficulty there participating. I don't want that to be a limitation.
Sure.
So
A scholarship program of some sort.
yeah, I really want it to be like a trifecta between the three of us, and involve the businesses in that process.
Very good. So I would assume they would just, stop by the store, come see you.
Call me up.
Have a beautiful
Stop
store
by
here.
the store, yeah.
And very good.
Yeah.
Anything, any parting words for us?
I just thank you for your time today and for coming out to visit Barnes & Noble, and this has been a great experience. Thank
Alaina
you.
Van Gelder, thanks for being on Chamber Chat.
Thank you.
We'd like to give you an opportunity now to take a look at the upcoming events for the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining us now is Wicomico County School Superintendent Dr. John Fredericksen. Welcome to the program.
Good to be here. Thank you, Tony.
It's been a while. You should have been on. We've been on the air a year already, and this is your first appearance.
Well, it's been a busy year. We've been taking care of a lot of business, but we're anxious and eager to talk about it a little bit.
Well, taking care of business, there's always business to be taken care of when it comes to the school board. You guys have a task force that the community may or may not be aware of. It's certainly visible on your website, but the Facilities Task Force. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Facilities Task Force is?
We have a great team of people, some people from the community, some people that are staff. We have people that are elected officials, people that have professional skills in various areas, and we talked about what our the needs of our schools for the next 40, 50 years. And we said, what are the resources that we have? How can we responsibly use all those resources? So they've gotten together, they spent about 8, 9 months studying thoroughly all of our different buildings, giving each building a box score, kind of a document, a full page on what it does and how it works, and then saying, okay, if we look at our current funding system, how would we best renovate, operate, and keep those buildings online and working for us over the next, and we're thinking 50 years, because it's about 50 years between when we build a building and when we come back to it.
Gotcha. Now, out of this process of 9 months, I'm sure there were recommendations that were formed. What were some of those recommendations, if you can share? Well,
one of the recommendations was that we want to really plan out which buildings we're going to address next and which ones are going to maybe be postponed a little bit. They also made recommendations in terms of utilization of buildings and saying, you know, if we made our buildings a little bit larger and we didn't have as many buildings, we wouldn't have the operational costs of the overhead, the principal, vice principal, nurse, and stuff like that for each building. You can serve just as well 600 kids in an elementary school as you can 300. And so by taking a couple of schools offline in the normal format, it allows us to save those dollars and push them directly into the classroom.
Sometimes it's a pretty common sense approach, such as servicing 600 kids versus 300 in just a bit larger facility. It's the common sense approach that a lot of times is overlooked.
Well, it's, you know, we've gotten used to having the smaller schools and people could walk more often, and the little bit larger ones, you know, we've gotten operating those very effectively. There have been major research studies by the Gates Foundation and the like that have said, okay, does it make a difference? And the answer was no. And so if we can do it and save dollars at the overhead side of things, we can push those dollars into the classrooms, into the services of teachers and other people that are directly serving kids, and that's a better return for our money.
Sure it is, sure it is. How does this fit? There has to be an overarching plan, a master plan, if you will. How did the findings tie into that nicely?
Exactly. The findings will actually build the 5-year plan, and we are required by state law to create a 5-year plan and operate under that and submit it to the state. And what basically occurs is you create a 5-year plan that gets rolled over every year, and you make modifications. You make modifications in terms of maybe a building deteriorates a little faster, or you may make modifications in terms the state comes through with an initiative for either funding for security or windows or lights or something like that. So you say, okay, let's see if we can grab those dollars and see if we can maybe move things around a little bit. But it's a 1-year modification of a 5-year plan, and it really works into a 50-year plan, because over time you have to start laying things out long term, and hopefully our estimates will go. I mean, you just never know, though. A building could fail at an earlier stage, and we want to prevent failure.
Anytime I've been a part of a strategic planning process, you lay out that long range vision, whether long range is 50 years or long range is 10 years, but then you back into it with the smaller increments.
Yep.
The bite-sized pieces, if you will, something that, you know, there's a win here, and, you know, a couple of years in, 5 years in, then you've made real progress. So
exactly.
Those small steps really add up.
And it takes time, and you need a group of diverse thinkers that come at it from every possible angle. What are the dollars? What are the construction opportunities? What are the sizings? What are the transportation and other instructional things? Because at the end of the day, the number one thing is our student, the safety of that student, and the efficiency by which we serve that student.
Talking about the students, obviously, that backing in, you know, one step further into the community. Right. You know, the Board of Education, whether it be, you know, transporting kids to school, whether it be feeding the students, educating the students, at large, you're serving the community.
Exactly.
How did, or were there recommendations or outcomes that you can see that will directly positively impact the community?
I think there'll be some real big direct impacts for the community. Number one, we'll be more efficient. When we put in the high efficiency boilers, when we put in high efficiency geothermal heat systems, when we put in systems that allow us to have better insulation for the buildings, that means dollars that are not going into energy costs are able to be going into instruction and the materials of instruction, the worksheets, the textbooks, the computers and stuff that the kids use. Also, we touch about 1/5 of the families in the community directly, either their child or the child that they care for. And those children, the better we can serve them, the more likely they are to get a better paying job,
Right.
more likely to have better satisfaction in life. And finally, in some of these activities, when we rebuild a building, that's a jobs program. All of a sudden you've got 20, 30, 50 people that are working on one site, or we have 150 people that are working on the Bennett Middle
Right.
School site. We had 50 people working at the Pittsville site all summer. Those are jobs in the community. Those folks are, buying gas, they're buying parts,
Sure.
they're buying tools in the community, they're buying lunch in the local cafes, and that's important too.
How many times does a school board get blamed for economic development? Which is exactly what you're talking about. That's economic development.
Yeah, those are times when people come in, they work the job at the school, and they find out, gee, I kind of like it here.
Right.
We've got a nice community. We've got all sorts of opportunities here. We've got nice parks. You can get a good deal on a house.
Right.
People buy a house here, and then they move to some other job where they may stay in that career
Sure.
and do other construction activities in the community.
How do you implement the plan? What the findings are the findings, and so you've got to implement it at some point.
Well, the board received or accepted the report in July of 2014.
Okay.
And then the board said, okay, let's go and bring this out to the community and showcase it. So we put the whole plan on the web, and we're also running a series of meetings around the community at 7 o'clock in the evening so that people can come in and take a peek at what is the plan and then ask us questions. And we've just started that process. We look forward to continuing it for about the next month until the first part of December, and hopefully hear from people, and then the board will discuss it. What did they learn? What did they hear? They'll ask staff to go back and restudy this issue or that detail. And at the end of the day, the board will either accept, in other words, adopt, or they may adopt with modifications, or they may reject the plan. And if they reject the plan, then they have to create another plan.
Sure.
So anticipate that it'll probably be some version of the plan that's here, but we're just in the beginning stages. I've made about a dozen presentations so far, and I look forward to probably doing a couple dozen more. Then they will also, at the same time, because part of the process is recommending that we reduce the number of administrative units that we carry, we're going to have to adjust our attendance areas. And so to do attendance areas, you'd have to do a study on that to make sure you know where houses are at, what ages and what's types of
Sure.
kids are coming from different places, and then you make an adjustment on that for your transportation system. You say, okay, this plan over here might cost us 1 or 2 more buses. This plan over here might cost us less. So we'll do that study, and we'll bring back in the community folks to serve on a committee to talk about
Sure.
attendance areas. January, February, and we'll make a report to the board on that so they can integrate those 2 plans, attendance areas and facilities.
I'm watching Chamber Chat, and this is the first I've heard of this task force. Where can I find out more information?
Go to our website at www.wcboe.org. And if you just type in Wicomico Public Schools, the search engine will probably take you right to our website, and there's a button right on the front of the website there for you.
Dr. Fredericksen, thanks for stopping by Chamber Chat.
Thank you, Tony. Have yourself a great day.
Thank you. We'd like to give you another opportunity now to take a look at the upcoming events with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining us now is Abby Husfelt with the Elder Care Network with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. Abby, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, well, here's the magic question that every network chair gets asked. What's the Elder Care Network?
Well, the Elder Care Network is a group of individuals that we all get together, and we're all somehow related into the elderly.
Okay.
So you have different organizations throughout the community that can outreach. We get together to explain different things of what's going on in the community for the different businesses.
Gotcha. So if you had to wrap up the purpose of the Elder Care Network, what would you say a driving purpose behind that, other than just educating businesses?
We do education, and we help with finding out what the population in area needs, so we can do some outreach and education. So we try to, do a lot of internal with the companies, but also external to the community.
I'm assuming that would include demographics on how that age group is shifting. That we've heard the term graying of the shore, and that's a true statement. I'm part of that. So
You and me both.
So when do you guys typically meet?
We meet the third Tuesday, I apologize, every month at 8:30 at Harbor Point, which is an assisted living. And we actually meet about 7 times a year.
Okay.
We do take the summer off because there's a lot of things going on family-wise that we try to make sure that, we're not tying up time. And then we also, the third Tuesday falls in November, right before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And Christmas, so
Sure.
we do not meet November and December. So we actually just had our last meeting. The next one will be January, the third Tuesday at 8:30.
So typically, when you guys meet, how does the meeting flow? What's the topic that you could do? You have a specific topic per meeting, or is it just a broad-based forum?
It's a broad-based forum, but we do have specific topics. So a lot of times we try to bring in individuals that have never been a part of our networking committee, and we then have them educate us about what they offer for the elderly.
Gotcha.
So then they give us pieces of that. We do a round top, with upcoming events, health fairs, senior expos, anything that is beneficial for seniors to help give awareness. And then we pretty much close out. We do about 20 minutes of an educational piece from either someone that's been a part of the network that we haven't heard from in a while, or a new individual that comes in. And we welcome anyone that is giving out information to the elderly.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Give us a couple of topics or educational pieces that people typically wouldn't know about the elderly when people have come in to present to you. Give us a flavor of what some of those topics look like.
Well, we do everything from prescription management with
That's a big one.
With the different types of I don't want to say the different things that are out there. So you have prescriptions, a lot of us do the
Monday,
pill
Tuesday,
packs.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yes.
Where we have pharmacies that will come in and actually speak with us about what they offer to the elderly to show, make it easier, tear off packs that they're already pre-packaged. We had flu shots because that's a very big thing this time of year. The elderly and the extremely young are the ones that really get affected by the flu. So we had pharmacies in about flu shots and education of how we can present it to our clientele, that the importance of it, that no, you're not going to get the flu,
Right.
Then we also have assisted livings that will come in and speak with what they have to offer with respite programs and, items like that. You have, I'm trying to think, we have attorneys, we have financial planners, we do financial planning exercises. So there's a big, broad band of anyone that is dealing with the elderly could benefit from.
It also sounds like a large portion of what you guys talk about, while it's that particular conversation is focused specifically to elder care, it could easily transition to anyone's life.
It could. And that's a really good point, is that there's a lot of us that are caring for the elderly, that if I wasn't in the industry I was in and I wasn't related to the Elder Care Committee, that I would not realize what was out there. We actually have a couple members that financial planning, they think, but they joined because they have elderly people in their lives that they're taking pieces away, from nursing homes to assisted livings to elder care attorneys to MAC Center that, is just phenomenal with all the information they can give out.
Right.
So we try to get it so we can incorporate it. So when we're speaking to someone, that maybe they give a question to something that if I was an elder care attorney, which I'm not,
Right.
but if I was, I could say to them, hey, you know what? You need to talk to so-and-so.
Sure.
Because they'll be able to, I've heard that there's things out there that can help you.
Sure.
So it's not just the elderly. I mean, that's what we're focused for, but it's for individuals caring for the elderly also.
Okay, what does a good elder care network member, in your network, the people that meet to discuss this, is that open to anyone, or is there a particular type of individual that you're looking for?
No. Our doors are open. It's one of those things that if you feel as if you have information that would benefit a network of individuals that are working towards the greater good for the elderly,
right.
You're definitely welcome. We, as a chamber network, you need to be a chamber member.
Sure.
But I do, as the chair, that first meeting, come see.
Sure.
If you're not a chamber member, come see.
Come
if
see
you
anyone,
like
yeah.
it, if this is a network that you want to join, then yes, please join the chamber so you can be a part of our group. But it's not, set in stone that you have to be a chamber member for that first meeting.
Right.
It's kind of, you might not feel it's beneficial to what your long-term goals are. So it's...
Yeah, anytime relating to the chamber and reaching out into the community, it's important for people to know that the chamber welcomes people to these network meetings to not only take a look at the chamber, but to provide insight that we may not have, but also in hopes that we could somehow help them or connect them to a company or service or person that they wouldn't have otherwise made that connection. How can people get involved?
Come to our meetings.
And they are, again, tell us when they are one more time.
They are the third Tuesday every month, starting at 8:30 at Harbor Point Assisted Living. So,
Abby Husfelt,
that's
Elder
me.
Care Network, thanks for joining us on Chamber Chat.
Thank you.
We'd also like to thank you for joining us on Chamber Chat. And as always, if you missed any portion of this edition or you'd like to view previous editions of Chamber Chat, you can visit PAC 14's website, or you could link to the Chamber's YouTube channel by visiting the website salisburyarea.com. That's about all the time we have for this edition of Chamber Chat. I'm Tony Nichols, your host, encouraging you to make a difference.